Good evening, my dear friends. Right now, close your eyes without delay and bring to mind a time when things went really badly wrong in your life. A door slammed shut, a relationship ended suddenly, a plan fell apart, or a dream seemed to die. Feel that memory gently for a moment, then think about what happened afterward. What new path opened because the old one closed, how much stronger you became, and where you finally arrived because you could no longer stay stuck. That gentle recognition you just touched is the entire lesson I want to share tonight. What if you could live in that same deep understanding every single day, not only in hindsight, but right now, while you are still in the middle of difficulty and uncertainty? What if you could move through life with a calm, unshakable inner certainty that everything, without exception, is unfolding for your highest good? This is not ordinary hope, optimism, or wishful thinking. It is a deep, solid knowing, and it is a real law of life that works without fail the moment you choose to connect with it. This teaching is not a motivational phrase, positive thinking, or forcing a smile while hiding your pain. It goes far deeper. At its core is a simple yet powerful truth. Whatever you accept as true inside yourself gradually becomes solid fact in your outer world. Your inner awareness is always creating your experience, whether you notice it or not. The real question is never whether you are shaping your reality, you are always shaping it, but what exactly you are accepting as true in your quiet thoughts each day. Many people carry a deeper, often unnoticed belief that whispers, things may not turn out well, problems come too often, I must struggle hard, and life feels uncertain and dangerous. Even while they try positive practices, this underlying assumption keeps showing up in their lives. The difficulty usually arises not during quiet practice, but when they return to daily life and see no immediate change. The bank balance stays low, the phone stays silent, the body still hurts. In those moments, a loud voice says, "Look at the facts. Your senses do not lie, but they move slowly." What you see around you today is not the result of your present inner belief. It is the delayed result of an earlier belief that has now become visible, like light from a distant star that left long ago. Today's conditions belong to yesterday's thinking. If you let current facts control what you accept inside, you simply repeat the same old pattern forever. To break it, you must be willing to accept a new inner truth even before the outer world shows any proof. The invisible always comes before the visible. Real faith is not easy certainty when life is smooth. It is keeping your deep inner knowing unshakable even when everything outside shouts the opposite. That is where its true power lies, and that is how it moves obstacles that once seemed impossible. Let me share the story of a man I once knew who lived with a constant quiet fear inside his daily life. It was not a loud, dramatic fear that stopped him completely in his tracks every time. It was a gentle, ongoing worry, like a low background sound from someone who always expected the next problem to appear suddenly. Every little trouble seemed to prove his worry was correct without any doubt in his mind. Every short delay felt like a sign that something worse was coming soon after it. Every small event that others might ignore completely, he saw as a warning signal instead. Life, being the accurate mirror it truly is in every way, gave him exactly what he expected deep down without fail. His car stopped working at the worst possible time when he could least afford the repair costs. His body began to show clear signs of the worry he carried with him constantly. His connections with others showed the same emotional distance he kept from real happiness and joy in life. He was not simply unlucky, and he was not under any curse from outside forces. He had, as I gently explained to him one day, become very loyal to an unhelpful inner belief that limited him greatly. Over many years of quiet daily practice, he had grown extremely skilled at expecting things to go badly more often than not. He had become an expert in expecting trouble ahead of time without even realizing his own power. The law itself has no preference about what you believe inside your heart. It simply and accurately brings the outer matching experience of your main inner feeling every single time. So it fully supported him in what he assumed quietly each day. I invited him to try a simple experiment for 30 days without any pressure on him. He did not need to pretend everything was already perfect or push away his worries forcefully. He only needed to add one new thought to his private inner talk and to hold it as sincerely as possible in his quiet moments. The thought was this simple statement: "Everything is always working out for me in its own perfect way." He was to say it not as a hopeful wish, but as a clear statement of how life actually operates according to the law. He understood enough to accept that if the principle was real, then it must apply to him too, without any exception at all. He began to practice it calmly and steadily, without making any show of it to others around him. During the first week, no obvious changes appeared on the outside of his life yet, but he started to feel a gentle shift happening inside himself slowly. The usual worries still arrived as before, yet they seemed lighter than before in their weight on him. When a small problem came up, a new, softer voice spoke beside the old, fearful one inside his mind. It said quietly that even this situation could be part of everything working out well for him after all. By the third week, small movements started to happen in his daily experience naturally. They were not sudden or huge at first, but they appeared from several directions at once without force. It felt less like pushing hard against life and more like gentle flowing with the current instead. An unexpected payment reached him exactly when he needed it most. A talk he had been nervous about gave him exactly the helpful information he needed at the right time. His physical condition began to get better without any clear reason that doctors could explain easily. At the end of the month, he came to me and spoke words I have always remembered clearly since then. He said he was not sure whether he had actually changed his life or whether he had simply begun to see his life in the right way at last, with new eyes. I replied that those two things are really the same process happening together without separation. Let me guide you further into this daily practice because I want to make it very clear and practical for your own life right now. I want to offer you something you can begin using this very evening, inside the real moments of your real day, without waiting. Living with the feeling that everything works out for you does not require any big dramatic action that everyone notices around you. It consists of many small decisions you make quietly all through the day, in moments when nobody else is watching your thoughts. It shows up in the words you speak silently to yourself when you are stuck in slow traffic and already running behind schedule for an important meeting. Most people feel the usual tight feeling inside their chest at such times, and think, of course, this would happen to me right now, and they feed that thought with more attention. They add the moment to their mental collection of proof that life usually brings trouble their way often. They reach their destination already carrying a quiet sense of disappointment even before the day has properly started its work. The new practice feels quite different when you choose it honestly with an open mind. You might say to yourself calmly, I cannot see the full picture clearly yet, but I trust that even this is part of everything working out well for me in time. You say it not as an act or with tight effort, but with honest curiosity about what comes next. You wonder quietly, what positive direction is this delay pointing me toward right now? What trouble might this be saving me from without my knowledge? What new opportunity is this waiting time creating space for in my life ahead? This approach is not foolish or blind to reality in any way at all. It is a trained way of seeing that every unexpected turn you have ever taken in the past eventually showed its good reason clearly. You never had to wait until later to recognize that reason if you chose not to. You could have accepted it right in the middle of the confusion and lived inside the calm of that acceptance instead of staying worried about the unknown future. It is the clear understanding that life has never once abandoned you completely in any situation you faced. Every closed door was always followed by another opening somewhere else when the time was right for you. Every time you thought you had failed, it later turned out to be preparation for something better that arrived in its season. What if you could live every day from that same understanding right now without any delay? When you hold that question honestly and explore it with real interest, it becomes the entrance into the inner state I am describing so clearly tonight. There is an old teaching that has been passed down and repeated for many centuries across different traditions. It says, according to your faith, it will be done for you exactly as you believe. Many people read these words as simple encouragement to believe more strongly than before. But the words are not just encouragement or motivation alone. They are a clear description of how reality actually takes shape in our lives every day. They describe how things form exactly according to the faith or inner belief or deep conviction you truly live inside, rather than the one you only hope to live inside someday. It will be done for you right now in the present moment and not maybe later or only if you prove yourself worthy enough first. The words are in the present tense, already happening without waiting. The great teacher was not giving empty hope to his listeners at all. He was explaining the exact way the law operates in simple terms that anyone can follow. The guidance that goes with it is equally clear and practical for daily use. When you ask for something, believe that you have already received it fully, and then you will receive it in your outer world. Notice it does not say believe you will receive it in the future sometime. It says believe you have already received it in the now. Using the past tense is very important because it closes the distance between your inner belief and the outer result that follows. It takes away the long period of waiting that drains your energy often. It asks you to step fully into the feeling of already having it, already finished, already given, already complete, and to stay inside that feeling not as a temporary trick but as your natural way of being each day. This is not difficult religious teaching that only experts can understand fully. It is the simplest and clearest instruction possible for working together with this law in your own life right now. Assume that you have already received what you need most deeply. Live every day from that acceptance without forcing anything, and watch how the outer world gradually matches it in its own perfect timing. I know some of you are already wondering exactly how to do this in real situations you face. How can I truly feel that everything is working out when the facts in front of me tell a different story every day? How can I make this new belief strong enough that it actually creates real change in my experience? Here is a practical way to begin that works gently and effectively over time. Start by remembering a past experience that once seemed difficult. Earlier, I asked you to recall a time when something seemed to go wrong and later proved to be important for your growth. You found such a memory inside yourself without trouble. The warm feeling of realizing that it actually worked out is not only a thought in your head alone, it is something you can feel in your body as a real sensation. It brings a gentle warmth in the chest and a soft loosening in the shoulders when you return to it fully. That exact feeling becomes your starting place for the new practice each time. Close your eyes once more and return to that memory with full attention. Stay inside it fully for about 30 seconds without rushing. Pay attention to the changes that happen in your body when you are inside that recognition clearly. Notice how your breathing becomes calmer and how any tightness in your face gently softens with each breath. Now take the next step and spread that same feeling wider than before without limit. Do not limit it only to the old memory from the past. Let it grow to cover your present situation as well with the same warmth. Include the uncertain matter you are facing today, the problem you are still waiting to solve patiently, and the result you cannot yet see clearly ahead of you. Speak to yourself with that same warm feeling and say this too is working out for me in its own way right now. Then notice if you can sense even a tiny spark of real recognition that this could be true deep inside. That small spark is like a seed planted in good soil that can grow. Give it attention and water it gently with your focus each day. Come back to it many times during the day without forcing the feeling. Do not try to force an emotion that is not yet there inside you. Instead, ask yourself honestly, what if this is actually true for me now? How would my day feel different if I knew deep down that it was true without doubt? Allow the quiet feeling that comes with that honest question to carry you gently into the new state step by step. As days and weeks pass with this steady practice, the small spark grows into a steady flame that warms you. When you keep giving it attention, the flame becomes a calm, lasting warmth that stays with you naturally. The new belief no longer needs constant effort to hold in place at all. It simply becomes part of you the same natural way your own name or your own face simply belongs to you without any performance or reminder needed. You need to recognize an important quality about the inner state I am talking about tonight. It has a special feeling that makes it different from ordinary positive thinking or forced cheerful attitudes that tire you out. The special quality is deep stillness that brings peace with it. When you truly live inside the acceptance that everything is working out for you, you do not feel wildly excited or victorious all the time. You do not carry the tense effort of someone struggling hard to believe something against the odds. You feel quiet and settled in a gentle way. There is a peaceful lack of grasping, as if you have finally put down a heavy load you had carried for too long without rest. You stop trying to control your worries about what might happen in the future. You stop mentally practicing bad outcomes as a way to protect yourself from disappointment. You stop looking constantly for signs or proof that things are improving around you. You simply know they are working out without needing constant checks. From that quiet knowing, you move through your day in a different manner that feels lighter. Your voice sounds different when you speak to others or to yourself. It is not louder or more forceful than before in any way. Actually, it becomes softer and more steady with natural confidence. Something inside you is no longer open to sudden panic because it rests in a place that panic cannot reach at all. Other people sense this change even if they cannot explain it in words clearly. They feel a special quality of calm presence in anyone who truly lives from this acceptance every day. It brings a gentle strength that has nothing to do with outward success or showing off or collecting achievements over time. It is the natural strength of someone who knows that life itself supports them fully, not because they have collected enough proof from the outside world, but because they have made a clear choice inside their heart. When that choice is held steadily, returned to faithfully, and renewed every morning and every time it begins to fade a little, it eventually stops feeling like a choice at all after some time. It becomes simply who you are deep inside without effort. You become the person for whom everything works out well in its own perfect way. The outer world, which always reflects your true inner identity with complete accuracy, begins to rearrange itself to match that identity naturally. Let me speak honestly about the hard moments, because they will surely come into every life without exception. I am not promising you a life with no difficulties at all in the future. The lesson I share has never made that kind of promise to anyone before. Yet there will be times, and perhaps you are facing one already right now, when everything around you seems to shout the complete opposite of what we have discussed tonight openly. The facts are loud and clear in such moments without mercy. The loss feels heavy and real in your heart and body. The pain is strong and will not be pushed away easily with words alone. The fear feels large and refuses to be made small, no matter how hard you try at first. What should you do when you reach such a moment in your journey? Assume that you have already received what you need most deeply and live every day from that calm acceptance without forcing anything, simply watching how the outer world gradually matches it in its own perfect timing. When the facts in front of you tell a different story and you wonder how to truly feel that everything is working out, begin with a practical way that grows gently and effectively over time, by remembering a past experience that once seemed difficult, yet later proved important for your growth. Return fully to that memory with closed eyes for about 30 seconds, noticing the warm feeling it brings in your chest, the softening in your shoulders, and how your breathing becomes calmer as any tightness gently loosens. Then spread that same warm recognition wider without limit, so it now covers your present uncertain situation, the problem you are still waiting to solve, and the unseen result ahead, quietly saying to yourself, this too is working out for me in its own way right now. And nurture even the tiniest spark of recognition that follows by giving it gentle daily attention without forcing the feeling. Instead, ask yourself honestly, what if this is actually true for me now, and how would my day feel different if I knew it deep down without doubt, allowing the quiet feeling from that question to carry you step by step until days and weeks of steady practice turn the small spark into a steady flame, and then a calm, lasting warmth that becomes part of you naturally like your own name. Recognize that this inner state carries a special quality of deep stillness and peace rather than wild excitement or forced cheerfulness, so you feel quiet and settled with a peaceful lack of grasping, no longer mentally rehearsing bad outcomes or constantly checking for signs of improvement, moving through your day lighter with a softer, steadier voice and natural confidence that others sense as a gentle strength born from knowing life itself fully supports you. When that inner choice is held faithfully and renewed each morning, it eventually stops feeling like a choice at all and simply becomes who you are, the person for whom everything works out well in its own perfect way, causing the outer world to rearrange itself naturally as your faithful reflection. And let me speak honestly that hard moments will surely come without exception, and the lesson makes no promise of a life without difficulties. For there will be times when everything around you shouts the complete opposite with loud, clear facts, heavy, real loss, strong pain that words cannot easily push away, and large fear that refuses to shrink. Yet in such moments, you simply return quietly to the calm state you have been cultivating and hold it steadily until the outer picture catches up. Hold firmly to the inner state that brings you peace without denying what your eyes clearly show you or pretending the hurt does not exist inside you, gently but strongly refusing to let the outer picture decide what you accept as true inside your mind and heart. You may not understand this situation fully yet, and you may not see its complete shape right now, but you know from your own past that the times which looked like the biggest problems often carried the greatest blessings hidden inside them. So, right here in the middle of this difficulty, choose to believe that even this is working out for your good in time. This choice is not a sign of weakness or giving up in any way, but one of the strongest and most powerful actions any person can take when facing storms. For it means staying steady in your inner knowing when every outer sign and every circumstance pulls strongly in the opposite direction. This is not sent as punishment or as an unnecessary barrier at all, but the moment when the true depth of your inner belief becomes clear to you personally, and every time you pass through such a test and keep holding the state despite the opposing facts, something inside you grows deeper and more lasting than before. After you have faced enough of these moments and returned faithfully to the calm state many times in spite of appearances, you will wake up one ordinary morning and simply know the truth without any effort or reminder at all. So that everything is working out for me will no longer feel like something you practice daily, but will feel like simple reality that lives inside you naturally. Remember again that past time when something felt like a complete disaster and later revealed itself as truly helpful for your path. And now bring your attention back to whatever feels unfinished or uncertain or frightening or stuck in your life right now, and ask yourself gently, what if even this is working out for me in its own way? What if the waiting time is actually protection from something unseen? What if the closed door is quietly guiding me somewhere better than I planned? And what if the empty space is being prepared for something wonderful I have not yet been able to imagine clearly? You do not need to know all the answers right away in this moment, but only need to be willing to live inside the question with openness and curiosity, allowing the thought that everything is working out to become the steady, quiet background music of all your daily experiences without force, not just sometimes, but as the constant gentle tone underneath everything you do each day. Begin right now without putting it off any longer and walk forward tonight with a firm decision in your heart that life is supporting you fully in every step, knowing that nothing is ever wasted in your journey and that life makes no mistakes where you are concerned at all.